necessity. They were forced by necessity to grow beyond what they were. And who knows what the limit to that is?
If I'm running on a treadmill and I get to mile 9 and I get complete cramp in one of my legs, and I know I've told myself I'm going to run 10 kilometers today, he goes, I will have to limp the last mile, even if no one's watching.
Something I've noticed this morning, it's currently 7:30, all these cars have been driving by, and I've realised that all these people within these cars, I mean, well, a lot of them, are fueling someone else's dream. They're going to their 8 to 5s or 9 to 5s, whatever it is, but they're not creating anything for themselves. Something I've really come to realise over the last few years is I just can't be that person who takes orders, who says, yes sir, no sir, working that 9 to 5, working for someone else and fueling their dream. They may be more comfortable than me, they may be financially more better off than me, but I can say that I'm working for myself. I make my own hours, I make my own work, and it's completely up to me to steer the ship and to guide wherever direction I want to go. And for me, that's more fulfilling than anything. I'd much rather that than fucking paying a shitload of money to sit in an office job and to waste my life away. Guys, you don't realise how short your time actually is. And I don't want to get too deep this early in the morning, just about to go to a run, but the amount of time you have on this planet, you don't know when it could end. Most people die at like 75, 80. If I'm 22 now, I'm over a quarter of my life already. So it's, yeah. If you're thinking about making decisions about quitting your job and pursuing something that you really want, just go in the direction that you actually want to go in your life. Don't be afraid to just take risks, to go for it, and fuck what everyone else says. As long as you are happy with what you're doing, that's all that matters. I was debating whether I was going to do intervals today. So it's been, my last run was Friday last week, which is when I filmed my last video, I believe. If you guys haven't checked that out yet, check it out. So I was going to do some intervals, but I think because it's been so long, I think I'm just going to do another 5K. My Garmin watch said that I was meant to be doing, or I was on track to do like a 21 minute, like 35K, but that's definitely not happening today. I think whether I'm going to PR today or not, if I did 26, if I can get like 25 something today, then we'll take that. So we'll give it a crack today. Yeah, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. Oh. Right, 5K completed. Didn't manage to get any clips of me running or talking on the run, unfortunately, because there were a load of school children walking by and I didn't want to look like a nonce holding the fucking camera up. So next time we'll get some footage, but we managed to tick the 5K off in, bear with me, 25 minutes 55. Another PR today, so better than last time. First run back was 27 minutes, second run back was 26 minutes, third run back was in the 25 minutes. So we're getting better. Each time we do it, we're getting better, which is what we want to see. Obviously, with running, if any of you fuckers are doing running, you can't just keep PRing week after week after week after week, because eventually it catches up with you. Eventually you'll have one run where you're just absolutely fucked, you're absolutely drained, your CNS is taxed, and which is why I'm gonna have to start getting into, because obviously I'm only running once a week right now, I'm gonna have to start throwing in a long run, like a low paced long run, so that I can build up that aerobic base, and yeah, my 5Ks will get a lot faster as a result. It's annoying. If you want to build up your 5Ks, basically, I mean, I need to get better at long distance running as it is. Next year, we want to try and tick off a marathon. So I'm going to have to start running longer anyway. But if you want to increase the pace of your 5K times, then you've got to run longer than 5K, essentially. The fuck was that? Oh, I thought my fucking phone just broke. It was already smashed to bits. Look at the state of that. Absolute shambles. I have to, what day? Thursday, fucking hell. This week's gone by so quick again. I'm gonna have to replace that phone very soon. I've got insurance, it's just I haven't got around to actually replacing it, which, yeah, I'm just a pain in the arse. With me, I like to use everything as much as I possibly can. If it's still functional, I can still go on it, I can still use the camera on it. Granted, it's not the prettiest, but it gets the job done, so I might as well make the most of it. And then in next week or the week after that, we'll get a brand new silky smooth iPhone with the insurance, and yeah, everything will all be okay. But 5k done, gonna head back now and grab some food, get some fuel in my system. I'm feeling pretty fatigued. I did boxing yesterday. What did I do? So I did four 2-minute rounds of on the skipping rope, and then I did it was either 3 or 4 2-minute rounds of abs, two 2-minute rounds of shadow boxing, and then I did 8 2-minute rounds on the boxing bag, and the rest time between all of those was like 1 minute rest. So did a lot of cardio yesterday. So I'm gonna get back, have some food, and then we got push a little bit later. Unfortunately, it's fallen on push day again, just because the ways of my days of training, and I was meant to be filming yesterday, but that didn't work out. So filming today, push day again, but it's a push day B, so I'm gonna be doing some different exercise than I did in the last video. God, look at that sun. That's what I will say. I don't like waking up early, but when you wake up early, get everyone out of the way, especially during this time of year, when it's a little bit chilly out, sun's rising, oh, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, so I'm gonna take you guys through the workout a little bit later, do some talking, but I'll see you back at the house. Right, so we got back from that run about 4 or 5 hours ago. I've had a couple meals since then. I had some blueberries and yogurt, honey and stuff like that earlier. As soon as I got back from the run, then I had 4 eggs, 2 bits of bread with that, or toast. Now I'm having my pre-workout meal, which is 120 grams of oats with a tablespoon of cocoa powder, 30 grams of honey, and a bit of salt in there as well, which is really good for the pumps. But this is honestly, like I said last video, favorite pre-workout meal. So staple, stick to it every single time I go to the gym. But yeah, gonna have this. Then we've got push today. So on the cards, we have got some incline Smith. So got the top set and back offs. Then we've got incline dumbbell press, some pec deck flies, and some shoulder bits, overhead presses, neutral grip press, and then some tricep bits as well. So hopefully we should have a good little workout. Don't know how strong I'm going to be feeling after this morning. Gonna have a coffee. I don't know if I actually said this in the last video, but I basically have no caffeine now, apart from when I really need it. Cutting out caffeine is probably one of the best things I could have done. My energy throughout the day now is just like that. Back when I was having coffee consistently, you just get those crashes. You have it in the morning. You don't let yourself wake up properly and get into that natural routine. You have a coffee and then you crash, and then you have a big carb meal, you crash, and then you basically have a coffee before your training session. You do your workout and you get back and you crash again. But by not having caffeine at all, my energy throughout the day is just always there, apart from maybe when I do like a 5k and a big heavy gym session on the same day. But we'll see how we're feeling a bit later. But yeah, I am actually gonna have a coffee today, so have that, and hopefully we're feeling pretty strong when we get to the gym. And I'll obviously take you guys throughout the whole workout, show you what I'm doing. Right, we upgraded from the pink flamingo coffee cup last time. This, a bit more manly this. Right, let's get cracking. Honestly, every time I hear that warning light noise go off, my heart always sinks thinking it's going to be something bad. But no, it's just stupid shit like brake pads need replacing, even though I already done them like a month ago. Parking light front failure, that was absolutely fine. I've already checked that. Brake light right failure, that's absolutely fine. Brake light left failure, that's absolutely fine. Honestly, these fucking sensors on the BMWs are a nightmare. Right. On my way to the gym, I'm feeling a bit more energized now. I have a bit of caffeine in my system. My God, I was lagging a bit earlier. After that run, the fatigue hit me like a brick wall. I mean, I got some decent sleep last night, to be fair, a little bit better than normal. The old Garmin watch has been telling me my sleep's been shit recently. Something that I will say, did I say this last video? I feel like I'm just repeating myself. I'm pretty sure I said this last video, but not to be too reliant on what the Garmin watch says, because look, you can track metrics all you want, but sometimes you have just got to be like, fuck it, and not be a pussy and just go for it. It could say that I might not have got the most optimal sleep last night, But regardless, we got that 5K done this morning, and regardless, we're still going to get this session done today. So, like I said earlier, incline Smith, dumbbell press, some shoulder exercises, some tricep exercises, hopefully get a nice pump, and yeah, get a good little workout in. Not expecting any PRs today. I'm trying to get back into the habit of tracking my training consistently. Only like the last week or two, I've got out a habit of actually tracking the weights that I've used in the workouts. I was really good and meticulous with getting on the workout log. So with my clients, I get them to use Kahunas, and it's a really good platform for keeping track of that. So I use it myself as well. Like, I do it for obviously all the clients, but also I use it myself to keep track of things, because it's really easy to see. After a workout, you fill out all the stuff, and then literally next workout, it'll be highlighted what you did last time. So it gives you that urge to sort of PR in that session. So you can see it, you're like, right, okay, today's the day I'm gonna increase that load by 2.5 kilos or 5 kilos, or I'm gonna increase the reps. So it just, yeah, helps you keep track of things and make sure that you're going in the right direction. So with the run that I did this morning, and also yesterday, I did about an hour to an hour a bit of boxing. You might be thinking, but Lewis, isn't all that cardio going to be killing your gains? And I will tell you, it will not be killing your gains. As long as you have a systemic program in place, which focuses on you getting stronger and gaining that mass, and making sure you're also eating enough food, so understanding your energy balance and the amount of calories in and calories out, you'll be absolutely fine. A lot of people will start getting into running, and because of that, they will neglect their food and they'll end up eating in a deficit. If you start running and adding in cardio, you therefore need to increase the amount of calories you're having, because obviously you're burning more throughout the day, to make sure you're staying in that surplus. Also making sure you get enough protein in to make sure the muscles can repair themselves, but also not to overdo the cardio. An hour of cardio max is the most is the most you ever want to do. Anything over that, and you can be starting to eat into that muscle. But if it's an hour or under, then you're going to be absolutely fine. As long as you fuel up correctly for that session and make sure you get some good recovery, and making sure that the nutrition's point around that, and obviously also what you're doing in the gym, then you are not going to be losing out on muscle. What I say is, for me, right now, I'm doing about 2 to 3 cardio sessions a week. So I'll do like a 5K run. I'll also do a boxing session. And then throughout the week, I might do another boxing session or another run, depending on how I'm feeling, how I get on. But through about 2 to 3 cardio sessions per week is absolutely fine. Now, this is just for people who are just looking at staying lean, gaining that mass. Obviously, if you're cutting, you're going to need to increase the amount of cardio you're doing, because your goal is to lose that weight. But if you're just trying to stay lean but also build up that mass and strength as well, then 2 to 3 cardio sessions per week is a good base where you can keep your aerobic fitness up, you can make sure your health's on point, and also you're going to look better as well, because obviously you're able to stay in better condition year round. Just pulling up to the gym, so I will see you guys on the inside. On incline Smith, what I always used to do is I'd leave a good 2 to 3 inches above my chest and not fully lock out. Lockout's not as important, because obviously you can just keep your elbows bent a little bit to keep that constant tension. But the main thing on incline Smith is making sure that the bar comes right down to the chest, make sure we get that full range of motion so we can really get the most out of the movement. And that goes for basically any exercise you have. The more you can get, better the range of motion you can get without injuring yourself and without affecting form. Obviously, it's all the better for it. So yeah, range of motion is king. With your compound movements, in an ideal world, The eccentric should always be the slower part of the movement and the concentric should always be faster. So you control it on the way down. Normally I like to do like a 2 count, so 1, 2, have it a good pause in the chest. And then when it comes to the concentric, you want that to be explosive off the chest and to make sure you can obviously lift the most maximal weight and get as many reps as you can. But yeah, making sure you're controlling that eccentric for a good like 2 count. Anything over that is a bit excessive. I mean, you can slow it down a little bit and just focus on the form. But yeah, if you're trying to achieve progressive overload and make sure that you're getting stronger in each movement, obviously doing really, really slow eccentrics is going to affect your strength, but obviously it will benefit muscle gain. So either way, what I personally recommend is just, yeah, a good 2 count on the way down and explosive on the way back up. And that's good for your top sets. And then maybe on your back offs, you can slow it down a little bit and focus more on like slowing down the reps, eccentric, like 2 to 3 second eccentrics. That might be a bit better, but. Right, so we have actually got a top set of 6 to 8 on these. I thought it was just 2 sets, 10 to 12. So gonna go a little bit heavier, see how these 40s feel, and then maybe we'll move up a bit. Normally, back when I was doing dumbbells properly, I'd normally do like the 50s for a set of like 8, but those were like half reps. Like I wasn't coming all the way down with the stretch. I was coming, leaving a few inches above the chest and hardly locking out. So granted, I could lift heavier and obviously it was a bit stronger, but I wasn't getting the most out of the movement. So with these, I really like to let them come as low as possible and get a good squeeze at the top. So yeah, let's see how these feel. Right, so the battery on this mic is slowly running out, so hopefully it doesn't cut out halfway through I'm talking. But doing these, okay, from me, crack on, no worries, bud. So yeah, I normally do these instead of the machine flies, just because I feel I get a better stretch on these. And I don't know what it is, the way they converse, you just get such a better squeeze on these. They're good for doing presses as well. You can also set up this height and do presses. I think I said last video, instead of doing a leverage chest press, we do actually have one here, which is fucking such a nice machine. But if you don't have access to one, getting these set up at this height and just doing a press instead pretty much imitates the same as it would be on a leverage chest press. And yeah, the stretch you get on these is just insane. So if you haven't tried these out yet and you've just been doing like the machine flies, then definitely give these a crack because the stretch you get on these is just amazing. Right, so we've got 2 sets of 12 to 15 on these. Anytime you're doing an isolation exercise or doing like a fly of any sort, I'll always prefer to do a higher rep scheme, 10 to 12 or 12 to 15. There's no need to go too heavy on them. One, because you've got that deep stretch position, you are going to be a bit more likely to injure yourself, so you don't want to go too heavy on that. So making sure that you go a bit lighter, just really feel the burn on these, make sure that you're isolating that muscle and feeling it completely tear apart, getting that deep stretch. And as the handles come together, getting that good squeeze. I'm not actually too sure where I saw this, but when you're doing any sort of fly, try and squeeze with your pinky instead of having the weight on the top of your hand. You get a better contraction in your chest. It almost feels like you're not going to incorporate so much front delt because you're all hunched over like that. If you allow yourself to really feel the weight in the pinky, you just allow yourself to open up to feel a lot more in the lower chest. So yeah, with any of your fly movements, machine flies, all these, just try and focus on getting that weight on the pinky in. You'll get a lot better contraction in your chest. Right, that's the chest done for today. Lateral raises. On lateral raises, make sure, so what I did for a very long time is I'd hunch over and I'd go like this when I'm doing lateral raises. Make sure you're keeping an upright position and you're allowing your arms to come right out instead of having hunched over. Not only are you going to get more lateral delt activation, but also you're going to stop yourself from getting injured because of your rotator cuff as well. Rotating like that is going to put more stress on your rotator cuff that actually needs to be. So keeping it upright and allowing your shoulders just come straight out, you're going to get more activation and obviously you'll be less prone for injury. But got these are also very good to do with cuffs as well. Setting up the cuffs and doing it that way. What I prefer to do normally, which I will do after this, is set up the seat facing towards the cables and I'll do cuffs that way. You'll see be a seated variation of lateral raises, but I just prefer to do it that way. I feel like having the cables like this, you just allow yourself to come right out as wide as you possibly can, and you get a phenomenal feeling in the delts from this. So, right, 2 sets of 10 to 12 on these as well. So, might have to go a bit heavier, we'll see. So we go on with these. Building a 3D delt, so making sure you're focusing on rear delts, front delts and the side delts is extremely important. But if you're trying to optimize your training, let's say you don't have a lot of days you can come into the gym and actually train, you're only coming in 3 days a week, I would say to you, focus more on the laterals as opposed to the rear delts and the front delts. Only because obviously you're trying to utilize the time you're coming into the gym, but having the building up the laterals is going to give you that V-taper, so it really accentuates your physique. The front delts and the rear delts, obviously, if you're really trying to criticize your physique and pick it apart, very handy to have in, and obviously it's going to give you that 3D look, especially when people see you side on. You're going to have an impressive looking physique. But if you're just coming into the day if you're just coming into the gym 3 days a week and you're trying to look as the best as you can with that limited amount of time, focus on the laterals, just because, like I said, it's going to build that width. It's going to accentuate your physique. You're going to give that V-taper, and it just stops you from wasting your time with doing the rear delts and stuff like that. So you can focus on the other stuff that's really important, like building that upper chest, building the laterals, building the width in the back, and also obviously when you're cutting down, keeping that waist tight as well, which is going to give you that lovely V-taper. Right, one more set to tick off of this. Then we'll move on to our seated variation of laterals. Fucking hell, had a bit of a tangle up in that set there. Cable's got a bit tangled up. But also, something I saw a video of as well, when you're doing lateral raises, instead of allowing yourself to rest at the bottom, just bring it to your hands and just come a little bit out so you keep that tension on the delt, and then just come straight up. So you're constantly keeping that tension on the delts, not giving them the rest, and you'll get a much better burn within the muscle. Because what I do is I do like a massive lateral raise, and then I basically allow myself to pause for a second or two, and that just defeats the purpose of the exercise. So keep that constant tension on it, and yeah, you'll just get a lot better feeling in your delts, and obviously as a result you're going to get a lot better growth in the delts as well. I think I saw a video a while back, must have been a year or two ago, Phil Heath talking about pushdowns, and he was really emphasising how the squeeze at the bottom is really what sets apart. You'll see guys just fucking hammering it out, and don't get me wrong, if you're doing drop sets, still going to get a good burn, but he really said that that squeeze at the bottom, feeling that deep squeeze, is ultimately what's going to get you arms like his. So if someone with like 20, I think he's got like 24-inch fucking arms, if he tells you what to do or tries to push downs, then you better fucking listen. So yeah, hopefully we can get up to a full stack on this today, just warming up. Yeah, we'll go full stack today. When it gets a bit heavier, I mean, that's 100 kg right there, which is actually more than my body weight. So it does get a bit shaky. Like Mr. Dorian Yates used to say, intensity over everything. You can do as much volume as you want in the world, do a shitload of sets, shitload of reps. But it's that intensity, especially when you're doing top sets and stuff like that and you're really trying to achieve that progressive overload. Yeah, intensity over everything, and Dorian Yates was a big boy. Right, I think that's done for today. Let's go do a bit of posing.
Close your eyes.